Greetings, humanity. Technology. Welcome to Channel Other Doc. I'm Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our short campaign of Urban Shadows, Lex Talionis. It's an urban fantasy game that's powered by the apocalypse and set in modern-day Rome, Italy. We're going to go ahead and go around and say hi to everybody, see who they are and who they're playing. And we shall start once more with Katy. Hello.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katy. I play Serena St. John, the hallowed social influencer / cult leader, maybe, who's being tracked by cats. We both use she/her pronouns, and I'm super excited to play.
Yes. Excellent. And now let us head over to Shauna. Hello.
Okay, hey, I'm Lynn, she/her, and I'm playing Mallory the Tainted. So, sold her soul to the devil and has to do odd jobs, and doesn't do them particularly well. So that's my associate's problem.
Awesome, excellent. Oh, Diaz, hey, thank you so much for the sub, much appreciated. Let me see, where am I? There I am. Okay. And now let us head over to Alyssa. Hello.
Hello. I think my mic is on. I don't know anymore. Technology's mean. I'm Alyssa, or Xander Slamilton as you see me around on the things. I am playing Manny, the Fae. Both of us use she/her pronouns. Manny is your expert seamstress tailor with an obsession for baked goods and possibly being the passive-aggressive mom friend. That seems to be what developed last time, so I'm just going to go with that.
Could be. One never knows.
I mean, who does it? You know. I'm just saying.
But just as a reminder for folks, like we do with other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or make an X symbol. And I've also got things set up in Roll20 for it, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat, and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much. Then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anybody needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may include supernatural elements, corruption, debt, intimacy, crime, horror tropes, noir tropes, mild sexual content, and elements of the history of Rome, which was not that pretty. At any time, you can type the bang CW command, the !CW, in the chat to see that. That command also has a link to the content warnings for this game in a little more detail, so you can look at that whenever you need to. Also, please remember we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. With that said, I actually wrote a recap! Which, as it turns out, is going to be handy since we couldn't do this last week. So, antecedently on Lex Talionis, this is what happens when you let me write a recap. Mallory and Manny met up at Trevi Fountain, where Manny scolded Mallory and gave her a detailed description of a pair of demonic suits she was meant to deliver to her boss, Mr. Sharp. They then met with the Fae tour guide Jerry Thatcher, and Manny delivered a request from Versace executive Olympia Fortunato that he keep an eye on someone named Nunzio. Jerry indicated that this was a task that would require his full concentration, but the fact the request had been made had more significant meaning, of which the Spring Court Duchess Gloriana should be informed, a task he entrusted to Manny. Meanwhile, Serena and Kai discussed their next moves. This is also what happens when you let me read this cold. Serena and Kai... Who am I saying when I let me read this cold? When Serena and Kai discuss their next moves. After talking about the possible meaning of a recent vision and realizing the cat Gia, who'd recently bitten Serena, might be more than she seems, they elected to head to the Pantheon to check out a protest happening there. Upon their arrival, they saw a large crowd of protesters that the tourists were all trying very hard to avoid, as though they were held back by some primal, fearful instinct. In the square, they picked out Serena's agent, Victor Benedetti, who also happened to be a member of Rome's largest werewolf pack, Via Lupus. They saw the travel streamer Ileana Cantos interviewing one of the protesters, a tall, dark, muscular-looking woman with light tan complexion and dark hair, and also noticed a number of cats lounging around the entrance to the Pantheon. They witnessed Victor receive a text, then exchange a knowing glance with Ileana's interviewee before dashing eastward out of the square. It was not long, however, before Mallory and Manny, who were at that point traveling toward the Pantheon against a stream of tourists moving away from it, it was not long before they encountered Victor. He approached Mallory and requested her assistance in transporting something for Via Lupus. Mallory agreed, and Victor advised her she'd receive the details soon. As Mallory and Manny were entering the Pantheon square, Ileana went over to Serena, who introduced her to Kai. When the two shook hands, Kai had a vision that slowly began to unfold. Meanwhile, Serena was studying Ileana closely in an attempt to figure out her motives, but seemed only to put Ileana on alert. This happened just as a small swarm of cats emerged from the Pantheon, carrying a few people in their wake. Among them, Tommaso Donati, a follower of Serena and a paramour of Manny's. At that same moment, Kai saw images in the square's fountain that caused them to realize that a symbol they'd felt on Ileana's glove when shaking hands with her was that of an ancient harp-like musical instrument, a lyre. And a voice at the back of their mind said, "Apollo, run." And that is where we left off. And that, too, is where we are going to be picking things up, as the basically the square has, there's this little stampede of cats that seems to be coming out and sort of not going in any particular direction. They're cats, but they're sort of wandering around the steps of the Pantheon right now. The protest is actually starting to get a little quieter, as there's this little stage out that the person that Mandy was interviewing, the tall woman, is stepping up to it, and looks like she's getting ready to give a speech. And that's basically where things stand at the moment. Victor is still in the square. Tommaso is just entered the square and is sort of wandering around, hasn't seen any of you yet, but is kind of just sort of looking at the cats. He kind of was caught up in the cat avalanche, and is kind of he was apparently just inside the Pantheon, and is kind of just sort of looking around and trying to get his bearings. So, what are you folks doing?
Serena heard the Apollo run thing in her head, right?
That was just Kai. That was
just
actually,
Kai? Okay.
Yeah, that was a vision Kai was having.
Okay, so I think... But the cats have come out and gone nuts, right?
Yeah, I believe we have a cat avalanche happening
Nice,
at this moment.
Nice. Okay. So I think, instinctually, Serena hides behind Kai and is just like, what the fuck is going on?
Quick note. Did I not introduce everybody? Did my brain skip over?
I think Sarah's audio is also muted too.
Oh no! Oh no!
I'm sorry.
It's been a technology day.
Yeah,
Is Apollo messing with our technology? Because that's
probably
not fair.
That sucks. Let's see. Yeah, let us check our audios here. Okay, whoa, I need to do a quick little thing here. Okay.
Yeah.
There we
Am
are.
I back?
You're
There
back.
you are.
You're back.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
I have pissed off a technology god. I don't know what I did. Oh my god, I have angered somebody.
Oh, good lord. So I'm sorry. Did I cut you off earlier when because I couldn't hear you anymore? Was that what happened?
I didn't say anything, so you didn't
crap.
technically cut me off.
I just kept rolling for no apparent reason.
That's okay.
There a hole formed in my consciousness.
I mean, there was a cat avalanche happening. It's totally valid.
Apparently. Did I skip anybody else? Dear God. Please.
No, it's good.
Okay. All right. I am so terribly sorry. Sarah,
That's okay.
please introduce yourself. Tell us who
Hi.
you are.
Hi, I am Sara. I am apparently at the mercy of some sort of tech god at the moment. I pissed somebody off. I don't know what happened. I use she, they pronouns. I am playing Kai, the Oracle, who uses they, them. And Kai is currently doing the like fight, flight, or freeze instinct. Their brain can't really decide what they want to do right now. So it's like that sort of staring into the middle distance, brain has stopped working situation for them at the moment. Their program will come back online eventually.
Okay. So yeah, is anyone before I suddenly start doing more stuff, is anyone doing anything at this moment?
Serena's just hiding behind Kai.
Okay.
Yeah, Kai's like 6 feet tall. And
They're a lot taller than Serena is. So Serena's just ducked behind Kai. Like, what is going on?
That's a really freaking good question. Eliana's still right there, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. And actually, she's just sort of whipped her head around. And actually, she, in spite of we have now Manny and Mallory who have just approached, she sort of is looking over at Kai. You can while they're sort of right now, the lady up on the stage also is kind of just sort of like getting things, just sort of like looking over and is just sort of adjusting her microphone, for she too is having audio problems, and is just sort of saying we have some rather overactive pet enthusiasts about somewhere, and people are just sort of there. There's a little bit of a titter of laughter. There's some laughter from the crowd, then from the observers there's a little bit of laughter, some of it slightly, just sort of nervous laughter. In this brief pause, Ileana will just sort of lean toward Kai and say, hey, I'd love to do like a feature on you a bit later, if you'd be interested.
I've got a pretty full rest of the day with clients and everything. You can Serena made me get a website, so it's probably featured somewhere on her profiles. That's what it is, profiles. But you can just send a message through there, and I'll get you booked in the next day or two for the feature. Not actually booked for, you know what I mean, like, sure. Get you in the schedule for it.
Sure, yeah. No, absolutely. But hey, listen, and she's just she's going to kind of lean in. And I don't know if you're going to, are you going to, she's trying to whisper something to you, but I don't know if you're going to allow her to do that or not.
There's a bit of a, Kai's going to take a step back and probably bump into Serena.
Okay.
and realize, like, okay, okay, let this happen. They're still a little rattled from the Apollo run comment from having shaken Ileana's hand, so they don't want to get super close, but yeah. There's a little comedy moment of...
Yeah, oh sure, no problem. She's just like...
Hey, are you hiding again? Okay.
What am I supposed to do?
That's a fair point. Sorry, Ileana, what was...
Hey, listen, I know now is a bad time, but sometime soon we need to talk, because I think I know what's happening to you, and I can help you. Okay?
Nothing's happening. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's okay. It's okay. I know. It's okay. You can trust me. And
Never in the history of somebody uttering that statement has it been accurate.
oh, you're saying that out loud?
Yeah.
She says, I guess. Well, up to you. Listen. Well, listen, okay. Okay. You know, right? No. It's cool. I'm sorry. I overstepped.
Sorry, I don't know you. I know you through Serena vaguely. Maybe I don't know if we've met before, and you're just telling me that something's wrong, and you know what it is, and that I can trust you. It's just a little weird.
Okay, no problem. Listen, Serena's got my number. If you want answers, I can get them for you. I can give them to you. Okay, just give me a call, and she will step back.
So do I need to book time for you in the next day or two, or not? Just shouting at the crowd.
And she's like, I will make openings. I will make an opening. I will drop whatever I'm doing. She says, pointing your direction.
Who are you hiding from?
The cats.
What do you think hiding behind me is gonna keep you're lower down to their level? You need to go up.
They've begun filtering out somewhat. They're kind of some of them are sort of like plodding around. Some of them are sort of seem to be there is this like group of them that kind of like it's almost sort of like watching a group of a group of Air Force fighters just sort of pull around and move in concert as they're coming around and just moving toward your group a little bit.
Serena's just like, one of them already fucking attacked me today. I don't want to deal with it again.
What do you think I'm gonna do? Just
I don't know.
That's fair.
They hang around you a lot. I thought you might have some camaraderie with them.
I mean, I feed them on occasion. I guess if you're a cat. So what do you... This is not the right place for this conversation. There's too many people around.
Yeah. There is now... Mallory and Manny also have gotten up to where you are. And so... Manny and Mallory, are you doing anything right this moment?
God, what the fuck are with these cats?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh.
Did you find what you were looking for, Mallory? Sorry, I didn't exactly track what was happening.
Oh no, she's lost them. She's lost them.
I'm gonna find them.
Serena steps out from behind Kai and looks at Mallory and says, wait, what have you lost?
Oh, hey, Serena. I misplaced my boss's clothes. Designer suits, of course. Didn't tell me what they were.
So is your boss just running around without clothes at the moment?
No, they were his fancy suits.
Okay.
They had certain qualities to them that make them not of this world and also are very important, and he paid me a lot of money to make them.
Which he neglected to tell me.
It's
partially his fault.
Do you want some help, Mallory?
Are you offering help?
I mean, you'll owe me one, but I could ask some of my followers if they've seen anything. Do a little call to action, if you would.
Now, Mallory, do you really want to make another promise to somebody that you can't keep? Because you know what happens when you do that.
It's just more work, yes. Fine. You know what?
Okay.
And plus, I don't think I would know if one of them was wearing, like, a brimstone suit. It's pretty easy to see.
It's not brimstone. Doesn't have a smell.
I wasn't being exact. It's a hell suit.
Yeah. The thread is actually made of hellfire, but it's refined hellfire, so it's not. It doesn't hurt to when you touch it necessarily.
But
Serena just holds up her phone and looks at Mallory and says, maybe I could solve it. All your problems could be solved in just a couple of clicks. You know
what? I've heard that before. That didn't work out well. Still isn't working out well. I didn't sleep last night.
Do you ever sleep, though? I mean,
It's
just making
less-
sure that that's different than normal. That's
It's
all.
less sleeping and more passing out for a few hours and then waking up again.
Gotcha.
But yes, I need to find this. I might still need that reading just in case. The hell are with these cats?
Yeah, there's a lot of
I hate them.
More than
The
normal.
herd of cats at this point that was the small group that was approaching has now just sort of come up to closer to where Kai is, more specifically, and have just sitting down. But they're not. But they're also continuing to act like cats. I should point. They're not just like. You know,
They're like
yeah,
One of them's like chasing its tail.
yeah, exactly. There's
one is
chasing its
absolutely
tail.
cleaning itself.
Yeah,
I was.
yeah.
Yep.
So,
Serena just has a sour look, like probably matches Mallory's sour look. Serena is not the biggest fan of cats, and
We
she
could
just
be somewhere else.
like, are you gonna like TikTok them? People love cats, right? Is that right?
no, that's not my normal. No,
Well, that one's kind of cute, though.
what am I supposed to do? She holds up like her hand with the scratch. She says, I have already been viciously attacked by one of these monsters today. I don't want to have it happen again.
I
sweet,
offered you a
no.
Band-Aid multiple times.
It's not bleeding anymore, but it's very distracting.
All right.
so sorry. Go ahead.
There is always there's the old home remedy for scratches. If you'd like.
Neosporin.
Manny,
Very
what do?
Neosporin, maybe.
No, I would prefer to stay away from your fairy techniques.
I'm just saying they work quite well. They're great for scratches and other such corruptible things.
So
I'm
it's
gonna go check out, and she sort of like gestures vaguely to where all the cats ran out of.
Yeah.
And-
I have to
yes.
go in there.
It is possible now that the crowd's quieted down a little bit. You might be able to work your way through to get over there without too much trouble. As you are contemplating this, and she's going to start speaking as you are contemplating this. But before I say any of what she's saying, what do you folks want? Are you heading in that direction, or what are you doing?
Yes, I do have to go into. I'll look at the other three and be like, do you want to? I don't know if there's any interest, but if you would like to see the homeland, I have to make a trip.
I haven't
could
been
get you
there
in.
in a very long time. I guess that would be fun.
Would not call this fun.
Not here.
I would not call this
Not
fun, but
Fun for you, Manny, but joy for me.
yes, well, they do love you over there, don't they? But it
Everyone
would give us a place to talk a little more openly that is not the Pantheon Square. And perhaps make a game plan to find those suits.
I told you I
Yes.
could solve that problem very easily.
Again, told you. I don't do that. Again.
You wouldn't be involved in it. I would just say a friend needs help from the people who love and support me, and they would be willing. It's your loss, but I can guarantee that I would find your suits in probably less than 5 hours.
Or either that, or knowing them, I'm gonna get a bunch of fancy suits that are not those suits.
Not if I
I'm
ask
still
for
gonna
the direct ones. You just don't have any faith in my following, and that's your loss.
That's a good word, Faith. Yes. No, I don't. I've met them. I've seen them. No. I don't want to be anywhere near them.
They're wonderful people.
They're
I
not
don't
I think it's
either
more or
at
less
the
at that
moment.
moment that you're going to see that Tom has kind of spotted you, and is slowly and slowly just sort of the crowd over the crowd. He's like, oh, hey, and is kind of waving at Manny and Serena.
Look at that little piece of sugar.
And this is the point at which the speaker begins finally, and this is what she is saying as you are perhaps navigating in some direction or perhaps working out where you want to go.
I think we're heading inside.
Yeah, sort of toward the Pantheon. Okay.
Yeah,
So
I think
as
that's
you're
where we're
making your
all
way across the square, sort of through the crowd toward the Pantheon, you hear this being spake. For nearly 1700 years, the papacy has held power over the city of Rome. Many claim that ended with the coming of Napoleon, or the formation of the Kingdom of Italy, or even the creation of an independent Vatican City. But if you look around, it is easy to see this is a lie. The power of the Church over our people ended in name only. They hold the hearts and minds of nearly everyone you see, which is why they were able to continue with their agendas and their quiet investments in Rome's infrastructure and public works. They are being permitted to get away with the outright purchase of our daily lives, piece by piece, our water, the places we eat, our business, our tourism. And now they seek to fund our new metro line. But what no one seems to ask is what they are getting in return. Do not be fooled into thinking all they want is the best for us. They seek our fealty. It's like any racket you might see employed by the Mafia Fenice. And there's a little bit of a rumble in the crowd when she says that. The more they do for you, the further into their pocket you go. The Church must be kept out of our government. Oversight must be brought to the D-Line project, and their finances made open for all to see. The details of the project have been kept out of the public eye from the moment the ink dried. We've been given a map with a few lines on it, but no indication of cost, materials, or the true planned extent of the new tunnels. We have no idea what they will be doing down there. We must act now, not only for transparency, but for our own freedoms. Or else we'll look up one day and find ourselves once again a papal state. And there's a lot of...
Can I put a face to the name of the speaker?
You certainly may.
Okay.
Please roll with Knight.
Oh, yeah, I've only got one more to mark after this. Perfect. Sorry, my roll 20 has been so slow, it's like taking it forever to roll anything.
Okay.
Oh, that's a six.
Oh no.
Damn, I don't know who she is. Or
So
I
you
owe
don't
her.
know her, or you owe her. Okay.
It was worth it. I needed night marked. Worth it.
It is, it is. So, there is a chance that you might know who this is. She is not someone who... Yeah, I mean, she's been seen, I think, enough around town that I think there's probably going to be at least there's going to be a connection here. So, first off, she is with Via Lupus.
Okay, so I've
Do
probably
you think-
seen her around Victor,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah. Do you think? Yeah. So you would have seen her talking to Victor before. Do you think that there is any arrangement by which you would owe her?
Do I know what she does for a living, or is that vague?
She is. I mean, by and large, you know her as you've heard that she's an activist. But what you probably are the easy thing to guess is that she is a werewolf.
Okay. I'm trying to think of some way that I would owe her.
Yeah.
I think that she knows. I think that she has gotten Victor off of my case a couple of times.
Nice.
Like when I refused to do something for Victor that would probably be good for my image or whatever. I think she's maybe one time I was meeting with Victor and me and Victor were having this like heated argument and she was there and was like, you should probably let your client do what she wants to do or something like that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it got Victor off of my case.
Yeah. So she actually. Yeah. Oh hey. A thing has happened. Pope, thank you. Hey. Thank you so much for the sub. Yeah. So the. So yes, her name is Diana.
Okay.
She is. Let's see. And you get the sense that she actually, unlike a lot of people, especially people in the supernatural community, sometimes that you run into, she knows what you do, and she also seems to have respect for you. It's not the it's different from the sort of the worship that people will sometimes throw at you. It's so yeah, her name is Diana Mancuso, and she, from what you understand, she's fairly high up in the ranks of Via Lupus, and she is. Yeah, so that's why it was that she kind of spoke up, and Victor pretty much just rolled over and Victor seems to roll over and do whatever she tells him to. So that's
yeah. Then I think
thing.
that Serena would have like the same sort of respect for her, like this mutual respect, and also that Serena owes her one.
Yep. So you have made your way. You all have made your way over to the other side, where the Pantheon is. This is also the side of the crowd where Tom is, and so you and so unless you like hurry inside, he will probably approach you.
I'm fine. He can approach. I'm all good with that.
He will, as he's sort of coming forward, and I just need to check. Serena, are you continuing to hide behind Kai? Are you hiding behind Kai from Tom, or are you letting Tom see you?
Serena is, because I want to mark corruption. Serena is noticing Tom, putting her phone up like a regular passerby, and blending into the crowd as she tries to head to the Pantheon and be avoided by Tom. Because one of my tenets is deny not the faith nor the flock. She's very obviously denying Tom right now.
Oh.
So Tom, almost for a second, it's like, hey,
Oh, God, don't mind her. Just sorry.
Hey,
Hi.
How are you?
Hi.
And he will come forward.
You know.
What level are you at, by the way, in terms of like
PDA and shit?
Yeah.
Mandy's like probably way more like Alyssa would be horrified to have any like don't so much as look or acknowledge me kind of person. But I think Mandy is very much a very affectionate, like throws her arms around and big kiss on the cheek kind of thing. Like,
How well let me also ask how far along is your relationship with Tom currently? I should have
not that far along. It's all pretty new.
Okay. So he will of course he will come up and he will do the same. He is very much an Italian, and so he will, and so he will definitely he will sort of embrace you, and he sort of will be like, it's good to see you. It's nice there's a friendly face around here.
It's been that sort of day, I see.
Yeah, well. Yeah, I thought I would check this out, given and they're all the crowd is now chanting angrily. Given I just sort of I had the excuse to get off work early to come down here to see what all this was about, and there's something going on in there. He says, pointing at the Pantheon.
What?
Yeah, there's I can show you, and
okay.
He'll accompany you inside if you folks permit it.
I'll kind of keep him distracted away from Serena. Just kind of like hook my arm through his and just sort of be real cutesy to keep him distracted from Serena. I'm picking up what she's putting down. She doesn't want to deal with this. That's fine. I'll take all that attention. I'm good with it.
So I just am I'm doing a quick thing where I'm showing the Pantheon, which I'm also going to display unto the audience so that they will see the building that we are talking about right now. This is very old church. It has it's a very sort of round interior. The ceiling of which actually is it makes up some of the image from the royalty-free photo that I am using for the background of the overlay that I have put together here in this very screen that you at home are seeing right now. It is there are a lot of sort of these it's there's very open area. There are sort of these nooks along the walls and sort of some statuary of different different saints and what have you, just sort of different religious figures. And once again, it was repurposed by the Catholic Church, so it wasn't always quite like this. But the building does date back to ancient Rome, so you are. There also is in the ceiling an oculus, just a hole, a circular hole in the ceiling that sort of shines down, and the sun comes in. The sun is kind of setting right now, so it's the circular reflection is quite distant, and what you're seeing in here is there are a few people just sort of milling around, but to one side he's pointing to one particular set of pillars. I say in one of the walls, it's round, but sort of on the edge. These pairs of pillars, right? He says, "Yeah, I was kind of here to sort of looking for a bit of inspiration." Trying to find some people, and that. Do you know about that? Is that a thing? I don't know if you're familiar with that thing. Now, what he is pointing at is the gate.
Oh, and it's like pillars. I don't think I've told him I don't think he knows at all that I am.
Yeah.
Not human.
He hasn't mentioned.
I just play one on TV.
Yeah. He hasn't mentioned much about what he knows and doesn't know, but this is the first time he's sort of intimating that he might know something.
The pillars? They're pillars.
Well,
I think this technically counts as a corruption move because I am outright lying about how much I know about this place.
Oh yes. Yes, you're concealing your knowledge.
Yes, it sure does. I am lying to his face.
So there are a few cats still sort of in here, sort of lounging about, and everyone, when he points, you will see that there is one cat in particular that is seated in front of, like directly between the pillars, that is of the gray and white variety. With the gray top and the white underbelly, and this looks like Gia.
That's what I was about to ask. Is this Gia? Because I'm gonna fight.
Yeah.
Also, get out of my gate. I need to go in as soon as I can politely ditch my man toy. I need to go in that gate.
I'm just about to charge, and Kai's like, no, not here.
I think you see like Mallory just looks like she has like the biggest headache like ever since she like crossed the threshold in here.
Yeah.
Can I?
Why are we here?
Yeah, it's not right.
I don't know how to play this game. So I'm just gonna ask if I can do this because I don't know. Is it possible to put a face to a name with the cat?
Unfortunately, this is not the point. This is long after that cat has entered the narrative.
That's what I thought.
So
yeah.
you've encountered the cat before. Serena has encountered the cat before. Mallory and Manny have not, however, so they may do it if they wish.
Gotcha.
I think I'm gonna notice them I'm gonna see Serena sort of like, okay, she's being weird about she's being weird about Tom, she's being weird about this cat. I might try the face to the name on the cat.
Yeah, okay. I might do that because I think they're like Serena and Kai are both like
side conversation about the cat while Manny is
you just like, hear Serena. I'm just
angrily
whispering.
This will be
you just
very
hear her angry whispering. That's that fucking cat, Kai.
Yeah.
It's the goddamn cat.
I think that's what Key's mouth's like. What the fuck is with this cat?
This will be very interesting.
Like, why
I really want to see what you roll here. So yeah, roll with wild on this, please.
I've already got wild marked.
Sorry.
Oh well, that's okay. I'm gonna still roll with it.
I know what this cat.
I don't know. I just see a cat, and everybody's
Yeah,
freaking
I
out
see
about this
something.
cat.
Manny, this is a cat. This is most definitely a cat.
It's cute. I mean,
Mallory?
whatever. It's in my way.
Mallory knows exactly.
Somehow you know who this is.
Mm.
And I'm not exactly... I think Sharp must have told you who this is at some point.
Yeah.
I feel like that might be how you know. Let me quickly pull up. Let me make sure. Let me pull up the move. Make sure we're honoring the move here. Also, I put the basic moves in a handout up there if folks need them. But putting a face to a name, you know their reputation and you know what most people know about you. On a 10+, you've dealt with them before. Okay, so here's the deal. You've dealt with them before, so you can learn something interesting and useful about them, or they owe you a debt. So which of those two do you want?
I want this cat to owe me a debt.
Okay, the cat owes you a debt. I think I'm still going to need to tell you who this cat is.
Yeah, I want to know what
because
conspired to get this debt from this cat.
Somehow. Okay. So this is everyone calls this cat Gia.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, that's not her real name.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Galinthius. She used to be immortal, like thousands of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Until Hecate turned her into a cat. And she has been serving Hecate ever since. One of the goddesses of the underworld, Hecate. It's an Aegean breed cat, essentially, is what that breed is called. And you will note that Gia will, at this moment, though, as I think this is sort of... She's going to notice Manny actually staring intently, trying to figure out who the cat is, as you're sort of approaching. And Gia will immediately just sort of turn, and she will just sort of do that thing cats sometimes do, where it's like, just sort of leap back, and will leap around, runs between the pillars, and vanishes. And
What the hell?
if folks would like us to continue our tradition of breaking about every hour, this is, I think, where we shall take our first break.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
We're going to be going on break. I'm going to throw an interview up here, and we'll be back in a bit. See you folks shortly.
Are we like work colleagues?
It could be.
Yeah.
Welcome to the break. And today I have Simon, the Wandering DM, here to talk about various things that he's had going on. And right now, just a little bit about how he got into all this. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, I'm good. All things considered, with what's happening outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm surviving.
It's the best we can. That's the best we can expect of folks. Honestly, that's we do what we got to do right now.
Yeah.
But so you have been streaming for a while now.
Yes.
And, yeah. And so just was curious as to how you got into it, and sort of how what is your origin story, as they say in.
This is going to sound a bit weird. It started because of Satine Phoenix. She was in a show called I Hit It With My Axe. An old D&D actual play with a bunch of adult entertainers in it. And I saw like an episode or so back when it was on Rock, Paper, Shotgun, I think. And basically I saw that and I was like, oh, that's kind of a neat concept. Like, sure, the thing could be more professional and have a better sound quality and all that, but I like the idea of playing for both like your group and an audience. And then that led me to searching for more actual plays to see how people did it. And I fell upon, well, Critical Role. By that time, Critical Role had begun, I think, 3 weeks prior. So I joined in at the very beginning, back when they were with Geek and Sundry and had nothing. And yeah, that made me want to start streaming. And then I spoke with Grant at the time at a Gen Con, and that gave me the push to begin streaming in earnest.
Awesome. So about how long have you been doing it now, roughly, as of this recording?
As of this recording, I think it's 3 or 3.5 years. I started somewhere in 2017, I think. Okay.
Cool. What sort of stuff did you start off with when you began streaming?
A probably deleted by now game of Vampire the Masquerade. That I had begun. It was supposed to be a 2 or 3-parter with a group of people, a bunch of critters. We ended up, I didn't know what I was doing back then. The overlay was horrendous. And sound quality was crappy. Anyway, it was a first draft. And that was the very first one. After that, my first real long campaign was Star Wars Points of Light.
Cool.
A 5th edition. I took the rules from Saga edition, I converted them to 5th, and then we played Star Wars every Tuesday, I think.
Cool. So it was Saga 2, and when you say the 5th edition, are you talking about the D&D 5e, or are you talking about...
Oh yeah, D&D 5e. Yeah. I had a thing against fancy dice back then, and I did not want to touch Age of Rebellion or Edge of Empire or anything. Mind you, now I am reading Edge of Empire currently, and I am liking it very, very much, and we'll probably stream a game of that.
Cool. Yeah, I gotta say, the weird dice threw me off at first too with those. It wasn't kind of until I was able to get a chance to dig into it and figure out what it actually was about that I sort of started to get through it. But that is always kind of a weird sort of for me. It is a weird barrier to entry a little bit, as if I've got to okay, do I have to redefine my entire understanding of what a die is, which also was a thing for me with when a friend of mine introduced me to DCC, because it uses all those different Zachi dice, and I was like, okay, we're gonna roll a 30-sided die now. I'm terrified. But that's cool. So what kind of campaign was it then? How did that campaign go? The Star Wars 5e.
So Star Wars 5e was about an alternate universe where Obi-Wan Kenobi died at the end of Episode 3. Him, Luke, and Leia, basically the shuttle that left Mufasar, was shut down. And that led to the Empire not being challenged for a while. There was a rebellion, but without Leia to back it, or without even Bail Organa to... Well, Bail was there, but the way I had it created was that Leia tempered a lot of his father's, darker side, if you will, more stern and authoritarian. So without that, the rebellion basically ended up this group of almost anarchists / guerrilla fighters. They didn't stand for anything, and the players basically ended up not necessarily joining the rebellion, but joining the cause, being those eponymous points of light in a galaxy that was in complete shambles. And they basically created a new rebellion, that darker timeline version of a rebellion.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we had to cut the campaign short. We didn't get to finish it for various reasons, but it was a lot of fun while it lasted. Though if I were to do it again, I would probably use a more role-play friendly system. Less, not that D&D is not role-play friendly, but the Saga edition rules were very much about miniature fighting.
Oh yeah.
So I'd look for something maybe more like Edge of Empire and all that.
Yeah. No. I remember the Saga Edition rules, and I had fun with them when I played it, but it was very much about placement.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like a board game, basically.
Yeah.
With a narrative board game.
In many ways, yeah, definitely. It's it's how a lot of our games went with it, anyway. But I think that is very interesting that you went on a completely different timeline for Star Wars, and I'm wondering if that's. I feel like if I were ever to run Star Wars is like one of my favorite things, just sort of outside of gaming, typically. But I've never run a Star Wars game. I've played in them, but I feel like if I was ever to try to run a Star Wars game, I'd have to do something kind of like what you did with that, to try to so that basically to pull the core of the plot of that universe in a different direction.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if that was a similar experience for you, or did you have other ideas in mind when you did that?
Yep. No, the whole point of the darker timeline was because I didn't want the focus to be on the Skywalkers and on everything that they did during the Age of Rebellion. I wanted things to be not necessarily darker, though. The inspiration I got for this timeline was the tone of the movie Rogue One, where the rebellion is this desperate organization trying everything they can to put an end to the Empire, and that's where I was going with my campaign. That said, I knew that if I left Leia, I left Luke in there, things would invariably return to the state that it is in the movies.
Yeah.
And if you look at just like Star Wars Rebels or any of the other not marketing things, but any of the like newer franchises, let's say from Star Wars, they all come back down to the fact that whatever they do, nothing's going to be as important as Luke destroying the Death Star.
Well, yeah, totally.
And I wanted my players to be the ones to destroy the Death Star.
Very cool. I mean, that's absolutely with you on that. I kind of have the same feelings about. This is one of the reasons also why I've never really dived too much into the Lord of the Rings RPGs that have come out, the various ones. Same problem. It's who's going to throw the ring in the volcano.
Yeah, that's it. It's you're gonna play someone who out of game is going to be inconsequential.
Yeah.
Unless you alter the events, such as I had an idea for a campaign, a Lord of the Ring campaign that never started, never took off more than session 0, but where Bilbo actually never found the ring. And so things in the Hobbit story happen more or less the same way. Bilbo got through because of skill more than the magic of the ring. But because the ring was lost both by Gollum and by Bilbo and not found, Sauron had to muster an even bigger army to try to do what he did in the events of Lord of the Rings. And that would have been interesting because I wanted to turn the campaign on about a race against the clock.
Yeah.
Who gets the ring first?
Awesome. Yeah, that too sounds awesome. Yeah. So I hope one day perhaps something like that sees the light of day. And I do want to just specify, I'm not taking anything away from folks who do run campaigns within the continuity. I think I bless them for doing it. Mm-hmm. It's just something that I would have trouble getting my head around, and I think it is a task. It is a task. Yeah. But for the time being, then, where can folks find you if they want to find you online?
You can find me over on Twitter at wandering_DM or on Twitch at twitch.tv/wanderingdm. We stream practically every day of the week except on Sundays.
Awesome. Well, folks, go and check that out. And in the meantime, I'm going to throw things back to either myself or to some graphic or other that I have running while we're all still panicking in the background. I will see you folks later. Take care. we have returned. And we are currently hanging out in the Pantheon, which is now -1 cat that has just slipped through the gateway between the pillars. Also, while we were on the break, we determined that for those keeping track of these things, the debt that Gia owes Mallory is because Mallory once was able to obtain for Gia a small sack of coins that are very rare, and that she needed for some purpose or other, we now return to Lex Talionis. What's happening?
I think Serena seeing this cat and seeing like Mallory have this moment of like recognition with this cat, she's going to go up to Mallory from behind, sort of the same way that she was behind Kai. But I think her and Mallory are the same height, probably very similar heights. So she just like is sneaking around Mallory. Mallory's not hiding her image whatsoever. And she's like, "Do you know that cat?"
She smiles. She's gonna smile.
Yeah.
What do you want with her?
I have my reasonings to know if I have reasons, Mallory. Do you know this cat?
Oh, what are those reasons exactly?
You normally can't disappear like that. That's.
Oh, of course. No, absolutely not.
I would like to. I have a debt on Mallory. So for right now, I'm going to say, I don't think I have to tell you that, Mallory. Not for everything I've done for you. And, she doesn't have to honor it, but I'm going to call in one of my debts so I don't have to get into the whole story because Serena's keeping that close to her chest right now.
Okay.
Okay, so do you want to... Oh, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Do I, if I comply, do I take the debt or does the debt still stand?
So here's
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry. No, you can go ahead. Sorry.
Okay.
This is the first time
yeah, no, totally. So if you're cashing in a debt, and I think I'm still a little off on this, but I think this would mean you'd get to mark wild, but then again, people have been marking wild all over the place recently, so it may be useless because Mallory's with wild. But refusing to honor a debt, further debt move. It depends on if you refuse to honor the debt or not. If you refuse to honor the debt, there's a move for that.
Okay, I think
yeah.
This is a minor thing, so I guess she'll like. Well, I guess if you have a problem with her, it's like maybe I don't want to know.
Who is she?
She is not a cat. She is someone like me. She has a boss. Have you heard of Hecate before?
The death goddess.
Yes, that one.
She immediately looks at Kai because in her mind, death card, blood.
Oh, it's a big deal then. I
have a quick question, actually, real quick, and this is from Manny. So, are you allowing Tom to hear this conversation?
Nope. I'm swirling him around.
Yeah, because
and
Tom
being like, "What?"
Tom saw the
like
thing that happened
him.
with the cat, and Tom is like, you saw that, right? I'm not imagining that.
So what? So there's cats all like. So what? I'm gonna mark another corruption because again, I am fully lying with this boy's face.
Yes, dive into the
Disappear?
corruption. How close are you to getting a corruption move? Are you up full yet?
I got 2 more to go.
Okay, we'll see if we can knock
Something
this
tells
out
me by
soon.
the end of this conversation, I'm either breaking up with Tom or I'm gonna get corrupt as hell.
So Manny,
I'd rather not break up with him. It's so hard to find a boy toy in the city these days. You know, dating is just a nightmare when you're 400 years old.
I know, right? It sucks. So I take it you're escorting him like outside. Is that kind of what's happening, or are you?
Or just kind of
elsewhere
around and like, you know,
okay,
asking him like work related questions, like absolutely like being like,
okay,
not that the cat's got my tongue, but tell me some more about work and stuff. Like
So I will get back
like,
to.
oh my god, I gotta tell you about Gina's got a deal set up with us in Versace potentially. Like, she's doing anything she can to be like, don't talk about this fucking
We
cat.
are being.
So
we
I
are
will
being
I will
cat
come
friends.
back to you in just a moment. I need to see how this conversation is going, however, between Serena and Mallory and Kai. So what's happening?
So this is
Wait.
Kai talking, not Sarah. I realize we sound alike and are equally confused. So the cat that I watched her eat out of a can, with a little pop top.
Yeah.
Who just disappeared. And Serena, the thing earlier, it has something to do with Hecate. As this is what you're saying. What the fucking?
Yep, that is Galinthius, and she works for Hecate, does similar jobs as I do. So,
Right.
And this involves both of you. Oh,
Is she currently on a job?
we're always on the job.
Fantastic.
She looks at Kai and she just mouths, "Death, death."
The card means change. You know this. Like we've had this discussion. Death card does not mean actual death.
I know, but Hecate, underworld goddess, this all goes together way too much, Kai. Even though I don't know what is supposed to come out of it.
Wait, you don't wait, do you have business or are you just going off of a reading? And the cat and she's just and Galinthius is just there?
No,
that what's going on?
Well, she's not there now. She's bamfed into
she's gone to do whatever. Also, why is she
I might have had a vision that involves this particular cat person. All right, that's all it was. And it might have given me a little bit of a spook. That's all. And maybe I just need to speak to her.
Did she scratch you?
Yes.
No, she actually bit you.
Oh, she bit me.
Oh,
Yes,
no.
She bit me. Same difference.
No,
Skin was pierced.
Mallory will put her arms on Serena's shoulders and just look her in the eye. All right, we have to fix this.
What is it? Oh. What do we have to fix?
You know the cat sanctuary, right? By the Coliseum?
Vaguely familiar with it, yes.
They're cursed.
What?
Can I bullshit read this?
We
have equivalent of an insight check that
I can
figure it out.
You gotta get a vibe check. Oh no!
I think before you make that check, she's gonna look at you might not have a choice to be a cat TikTok person soon.
Serena's face just falls, and it's just like, what? I refuse to turn into a cat.
I don't think you're gonna turn into a cat, Serena. I think you should have taken the Neosporin and the Band-Aid when I offered it. I'm just saying, I have a first aid kit, and so we.
I think Serena pauses, and Manny has walked off, right? Like with Tom.
Yeah.
So she just goes,
yeah. Speaking
Manny?
of cats causing problem.
Manny, I need your help. Give me to the fucking Fey world right now.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick rewind. So that
lead in real quick,
just so that
be
we
like,
can...
"You're bullshitting, right?"
Then she'll smile. That's like,
okay, yeah.
I still have to get her back from last time.
Oh, valid.
I'm just going to do a quick little rewind to when Manny is bringing Tom around just sort of walking around the Pantheon.
Yeah, what was it? Yeah, Mallory has a headache
Manny,
and she hasn't slept, and she's just like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have some fun." Right?
Awesome.
Oh man.
So something that you've been trying to distract Tom, and Tom is trying to is being a little frustrated because he's trying to He's actually, you notice after a few seconds that he's actually visibly worried about something. There's something that he's concerned about, and it doesn't seem to be just, I just saw a cat disappear. And so he seems to be trying to kind of, so I don't know if you're going to necessarily, are you going to, well, yeah, it's an interesting question. So he seems to be trying to tell you something.
All right, I'm gonna give a minute of like going on and on about Gina and the Versace thing and like what that would mean for the store. Just be like, is everything all right?
No, listen, I've got some friends who've been missing for almost, close to like a week or two now, and for close to a week or two now, and I had. Fabia was supposed to be here at the protest today, so I thought I would try. But there's something. There was something going on, and there's something I do in here sometimes. I can find answers. I can find answers sometimes to things if I go through those pillars, and I tried that and I didn't get very much. It was it's hard to explain. It's kind of a prayer thing, I guess.
What do you mean you go through the pillars and you get answers?
I go to that nook back there and I kind of pray. All right, and I sometimes the answers come to me. It's hard to explain. But I don't know why it has to be there, but I sometimes will. I got the sense, the feeling that my friends are in trouble, and that but it's a thing where I can ask a few questions, and I do not know what's answering me, right? Does this sound crazy?
She takes a deep breath and she says, typically, it's not good to ask some questions of things that you don't know who it is you're asking. That's usually a bad sign.
Well, it's no one seems to want to do anything. That's the thing, is that they've been gone, and all I'm getting about when I try to see about it's three of my friends, and when I try to figure out what they have done, I'm getting nothing but it's this feeling like they're bound or confined in some way. Fabia specifically, and I don't know what happened to them. I was supposed to meet them for lunch down near Cinecita, which is where around near where they all work, and I saw them getting into a limousine, and that's the last I saw of them.
You didn't see who was driving or anything like that, or where they were going, or
tinted windows, but they. It was actually strange. They actually managed to. That was the one time there was very little traffic. Right outside.
This causes her to raise her eyebrows. It's like, that's definitely supernatural that there's no traffic in Rome.
You have to use supernatural influence to cause there to be no traffic.
You can't have no traffic without supernatural influences. Well, dear heart, I think that this might... She's like just struggling with this because it's like, oh, if I tell him, like, that could be a problem. But if I lie to him, it's just going to hurt my soul. So she kind of weighs it for a minute. She's like, Have you filed a missing persons report or talked to Serena at all?
I've been trying to. And actually, this is probably going to be the point at I've been trying to. We are all in the. Serena, do your fans have a? Does your fan club have a name or anything like that, or is it? Do you have something that you call your followers?
Serena's Serenity
Perhaps.
something.
Serene. But let's see. Katy, can you hear me? Okay. Hi.
Sorry,
Oh, no
my
problem.
brain's just distracted about everything today.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, if you want me to come back to you, I can.
Please.
Yeah, sure. No worries. We won't worry about it right now. Okay. No, sure. But yeah. So yeah, it just tells you. Yeah, we met through the Serena fandom thing. But but I've been trying to, I've been able to. And then the station has had me working, the double shifts, and so I haven't been able to get out as much.
I think she's just gonna take his hands and like kiss his fingers, and hers just be like, what I'm about to tell you is gonna hurt a lot, I think, because it's not very easy to take in this information, and I think that's probably about when Serena does her yell.
Yeah, that seems good to me.
Okay, all right, cool. So Serena's yelling across the room for you,
and she's just gonna keep looking at Tom and be like, I feel like I owe you an explanation of some things, but I think it's gonna have to wait. And she'll go over and she'll just be like, yeah, what?
Apparently, did that cat go through the? Is that cat now in the Fey world?
I need to tell you something about those pillars, Manny, just so you're aware.
Okay.
That's an all-purpose gate. It goes to different places depending on what you've set up. Usually that's done at the fountain, at the Trevi fountain, depending on what coins you've thrown in. You can direct it yourself when you go through. That just involves letting it out mechanically. But
and I probably will have to because I didn't throw any coins in before we left.
It's possible to just direct the gate to take you somewhere with your mind, but it's a lot easier if you use the coins and then you're tethered, that kind of deal.
Yeah. Which I didn't do, so we're gonna have to let it out when we go through it. It's like,
the point there being, the cat could have.
Cool, I have a thing.
The cat could have gone everywhere.
Yeah, the cat could have
Anywhere.
gone anywhere.
Yeah,
Dang.
Serena, honey, the cat could have gone a lot of places, depending on.
I'm just having a itsy bitsy tiny moment of anxiety, which is very strange for me. I'm not used to feeling anxious like this, but according to Mallory, I need to get that goddamn cat. Also according to other things, but mostly Mallory right now.
Well, I think Manny will just look at Mallory and be like, "What?"
She's smiling. She's like,
I don't know what that shit-eater grin means, but I don't think it's a good thing. We were gonna have to go anyway. Oh, I don't want to take Tom.
that cat bite's not going to do anything. It's fine.
Mallory!
All right. Now, is that any way to treat your friend Mallory? She's having a hard day as it
I even
is.
offered to help you to solve your problem.
And solve that problem.
What? Where else?
You're gonna
what?
have to do.
Or else I'm going to go to hell. Yes. I know.
No, I think there's other concerns you need to be thinking about, perhaps with promises and the Fae.
Did
Although-
you, Mallory? Did promises in the Fae? Did you really make one?
It was
Manny's got the shit-eater Cheshire cat grin, like.
Days crap.
Yes. Although I would, on a serious note, I would be a little concerned about Galinthius back there.
I would. Oh, sorry.
You said that you saw this cat before.
Yeah, she hangs out.
Crips.
Yeah, she hangs out around where I work. Normally, she doesn't bite people, but she did.
Yeah. Normally, she just sits there, right?
Yeah.
And watches.
Yeah.
Yeah. I deal in things that trade. But sometimes information is also one of those things. So
I'm
she
sorry.
might be on the job. She might be on the job.
Are you telling me that a cat was spying on my tarot readings for Hecate?
For Hecate or for someone else? Who knows? Maybe. That's a possibility. I'm not. I wouldn't be 100%. I wouldn't say that is the truth. But if I were a cat and no one knew, and trying to track someone, that's how I do it.
Not to like pull a second god into the conversation. I mean, this seems really a lot. But does she only work for Hecate and associated things, or would she also possibly be working for Apollo?
I mean, money's money, power. You trade things. It's possible that it might. It's unlikely, but
okay.
Just in case.
What does Apollo have to do with this?
I don't know, but your person is involved with that. It's been a.
Well.
That's a lot.
Yeah. She's really weird, and not like us weird, not good weird, bad weird.
Excuse me, I'm not weird at all.
Me weird. She's not me weird.
Is there a move I can do to kind of like once that you've brought up Apollo? Is like, is there anything? Is there any like faction that I can think of?
Jim does have that look on his face. I also have a question about the gate.
Oh yes, Apollo. I'm sorry. Do you want to figure something out about Apollo?
Yeah, I just hit the streets, or is it a face and name? Put a face to a name.
Well, I mean, I kind of have to draw the line at putting a face to a name with the god of the Roman and or Greek god Apollo, because that's kind of
just like a group, I'm trying to figure which one fits.
So hitting the streets would get you could get the information that way. That would involve going and finding it from somebody.
Mm-hmm.
As far as So that's really kind of the question. Putting a face to a name would be when you encounter someone for the first time.
All right, I'll keep that in mind then. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I'm sorry, I'm done.
I was just wondering. So it's been a few minutes since I had this encounter with Ileana. So Kai.exe has started to reboot a little bit.
Sure, no problem.
Can they? Is there anything they can do to like kind of like what Mallory was trying to do, of recall information about Apollo, like why they would have gotten a message of run?
So there is a thing you could do if you want to. Well, let me ask you something. Are you trying to do something supernatural here?
Sure.
If that's the case, we have a catch-all move called "Let It Out." If the Oracle doesn't have something,
I have a thing for "Let It Out." I have Conduit, which allows me to advance "Let It Out" for everybody in my presence, self included. So I would like to, first of all, kind of like scan through like what Kai just knows about Apollo, and then kind of dive deeper into the supernatural parts of that. Who they know, has any Apollo imagery. This is what I want. Has any Apollo imagery, like suns and other Apollo things, shown up in their visions recently, stuff like that.
Yeah, this totally falls under essentially sort of extending your senses. That kind of that's one possibility, or there are other things on the list, but you can go ahead and roll with spirit, and we will see what happens.
And do I do it as advanced because I have the conduit?
Yeah, so you do it as advanced. So that means if you get 12 or better, I believe it is, then you get whatever the advanced.
No,
so you did not get 12 or better.
That's a 4.
Excellent. Excellent. So just a moment. Let me see.
Oh.
Let's see now.
This isn't gonna end well.
Tell me what this
Never
starts.
a good feeling.
So you're sort of centering yourself and sort of scanning through, trying to see it, right? That's what you're doing. You're scrying here a bit.
A little bit of scrying. A lot of it is memory recall of like what did I learn in school for the 5 minutes I was in school about Apollo, like what has shown up in dreams, and then doing a little bit of Oracle connect, like what do the spirits or whatever Kai's Oracle connection is have to tell me right this freaking moment about Apollo? Like, what does the universe want me to know right now? And clearly it's nothing. Or it's all wrong.
Well, something's going to happen. I just have to look up a name real quick.
Or Apollo will yeet himself into this room and...
Yes.
Smite Kai where they stand.
Well, it's not going to be Apollo. So,
does it make them feel better?
So, you are reaching out.
Mm-hmm.
You're reaching forth. You're trying to find it. Some connection. You think for a moment. You think, is there a group connected to Apollo? You think about that symbol, the lyre, and you're sort of trying to picture it. You can almost see it in front of you for a second, as this is going on, and as you're looking and searching. There's a brief moment when you start to sort of hear this ringing. And for a moment, your vision seems to so like there's like something, and you're opening your eyes, and you are not in the Pantheon when you reopen your eyes. When you reopen your eyes, you are looking around, and you see you're in a dimly lit room. A lot of sort of ornate things, little statuettes and symbols drawn on the walls. There's this carpet that stretches out underneath you. This big blue carpet with another big sort of some kind of symbol, strange symbol on it. And across from you, on the other side of the carpet, there is an older woman who is kneeling down. She is clad in a robe of some kind. And you can see that behind her there is a shelf full of books. And there's like a strange knickknacks also on the shelves. There's like a skull. There's an orb that seems to have a little bit of glow coming from inside of it. And she will open her eyes, and she will kind of, as you're sort of standing there for a moment, and she leans forward. Well, that's very interesting. That's very interesting indeed. Huh.
What? What? What's interesting?
If you wish, and I don't know why I'm even pushing this here, but I'm going to go ahead and say, if you want, you can try to put a face to a name.
Yes, I would very much like to put a face
Please
to a
roll
name.
with power.
Okay. How do I do that?
Okay, so in the center column, there's a drop down above where those moves are. Oh crap! Let me try to go back on my computer, because I just did the wrong thing. Okay, but no, there's a central. There's
Oh, there it is. I got it.
Yeah.
Power.
Yeah.
It would help if I could read the character sheet. I'm good at this. I got it. So roll of power, you said?
Yeah.
9.
9. Okay. So, this means that you probably know what most folks know about them, I'm guessing, if I remember correctly. But you get to mark power. On a hit, you know their reputation, and I will tell you what most people know about them. So, okay. This is interesting. And this again, I'm interpreting what most people know as the supernatural community. This is Delphina Jenna. She is the consigliere of the Jenna family. The Jenna family being the family that runs Mafia Fenice. She also has abilities in the mystic arts. There is she is fairly important. There is a loose association of the wizards in Rome are not that organized. They do have a sort of they have a grouping that there's some powerful families in the area, and so some of them are tied in with the Mafia Fenice, some are not. They're I have named them, but they're informally called the Magia Nostra, which is perhaps half a joke, we're not sure, but so she is fairly known in those circles. And it is possible this may be the first time you've actually directly encountered her. But you may have occasionally seen her in the background on the news or something. But that is who this is.
Do I recognize the symbols or anything in the room?
There are a lot of some of it's a little hazy, and you're starting to realize you're not here. But so the symbols around the room aren't exactly so some of them aren't intelligible, but you definitely so there's things bound up with Latin words. There are things that are there are Greek symbols here. There are things that are sort of tied to hieroglyphics. This is looking, if you had to guess, this is looking very hermetic, basically. Sort of the good old Hermes Trismegistus sort of descended magic going on here, basically. So very much in line where you've got these. They're very a lot of them are sort of they're very basic lines, shapes, things of that nature. Okay. Yeah. Not really much in terms of like identifying this is our banner type symbols.
Got it. But they are simple's not really the word I'm looking for, but enough that I would be able to like scribble that. Like if I could find a pen and write it up, scribble it down on my arm or on a piece of paper, I'd be able to.
There's stuff around. Yeah, you could. I mean, this symbol you're standing on, you could certainly replicate if you, within the first few minutes, probably.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pentacle, sort of, but it's
not. Yeah. Kai literally says like what's interesting? Does she respond to that at all when Kai speaks out loud?
She rises. Yes, she does. She rises and she kind of seems to be almost drifting over to you. And yeah, she's an older. I can't. I described she's an older woman. She has sort of graying hair that perhaps was once dark blonde, ash blonde. Sort of pulled up very severely. She has kind of severe features. She looks like she's maybe in her. Well, she looks kind of like she's in her 60s, maybe, but it's hard to tell with wizards.
Yeah.
So, as she's just sort of looking you over, she says, "Apollo, why?"
What the? I should run from Apollo? I'm very confused and terrified, if I'm not lying. Apollo good, Apollo bad. For me specifically.
Oh, as far as I'm concerned, very bad.
Oh, fuck.
Fascinating.
What's fascinating? Why is Apollo bad? He's like...
How did you do that?
Do what?
You see, you're not... Most seers in general cannot be here.
Where
not
is
in the way
here?
that you are, not what you've done.
Thing with cats 2 seconds ago. Well, not a cat. A cat left. Wait, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I did. Apollo bad. I tried to think, and now I'm here. I'm very confused. I don't know what I did.
All right. And you see the vision is coming in and out, going in and out, and she says, "I see you do not have long."
That's okay.
She says, and she sort of nods. I will be at the. Tomorrow I will be at the tomorrow evening I will be at the Palazzo Doria Pamphilj if you wish to talk.
I very much do. You're creepy, but not creepy in the way the other person was today. Like creepy. I'm sorry, that's not a very nice thing to say. It's thank you. I'll avoid Apollo bad. Okay.
What do you call yourself?
I'm Kai.
She nods and she looks at you, and this is Delphina, and you vanish, and we are. I want to go a tiny bit. I want to go just a few more minutes before we do another break. Is that all right, folks? I just want to see kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have you're landing. So for a minute or two, for about a minute, Kai seems to zone out.
Did they hear my half of the conversation, or was everything completely silent?
Do you want them to have heard your half of the conversation?
That's funnier, which is always what I go for.
I think what happened is that they saw you were kind of muttering stuff, so it's
Yeah, I
really
think
more
it
a
was
question
more
of
of a
like
mutter than
Yeah.
like they might have heard Apollo and Dad.
I really like the idea of when Kai comes back around, they just open their eyes to Serena, like in their face, going, "What? What are you talking about, Kai? 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 Kai?"
The hell was that?
That's a really good question.
What happened?
Um,
You were like that for
A hot second.
A long enough amount of time that it's concerning. Yeah.
yeah, that's new. To my knowledge, I couldn't do that when I woke up this morning, so that's different.
Sounds like all of us are having just
It-
wonderful days of self-discovery, aren't we?
Somewhere that is not here.
it wasn't the spirit of God, was it?
I know a place we can go.
No, I'm pretty sure who I talked to a wizard, I think, which I'm not
Oh.
sure is better.
Great. Ugh.
Gods are involved, though, I think. Can we be not here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can always go
You
back
three.
to my place. It's big and welcoming.
No, like not here.
I need to make a stop. So since
Yeah.
we're here and the gates,
Let's
I just
be elsewhere.
I need to do one thing first. So
We need
you
to find
three,
your cat.
So that's
you
what
three to the gate.
else, Manny.
All right.
So I'm good with that.
All right.
Yeah, we're gonna go somewhere else. Don't you worry about it, sweetie. I need to do something
Wait.
first, and I'm gonna walk back over to Tom,
Wait, what-
and I'm gonna be like, I have a lot to tell you. But I can't tell you right now, and I need you to trust me when I tell you you need to leave this building, and I will talk to you tomorrow. I promise. I actually think I'm not supposed to make promises either. I think that's actually corruption too.
Oh no! Oh, this relationship is.
Oh no, only if I break it. Only if I
Only
break
if you
it.
break
I'm
it.
not going to break it.
Okay.
I have no intentions of breaking it. I will explain things. I'm not
Alright.
lying to him this time, but I
Wait.
need you to trust me.
Let me get to my debt tab real quick. It's not a debt, but I just want to write the promises down. Yes, Manny will tell him what is happening. Okay.
I will give
Alright.
you the as brief of a summary as I can that will not completely blow your mind. But all I need you to know is that not everything you see is what you think it is. But please get out of the Pantheon right now.
All right. Be careful wherever you
Oh, caro mio. It'll be okay. I promise.
And he'll nod and he will head out.
All right. I don't think I can use the gate to follow Gia, and I don't think we'd want to. And I didn't leave a coin behind. So I am going to let it out to get us out to.
And you should roll with that advanced because I have the conduit thingy
You
that
do
is
have it-
Yeah.
still running.
Nice.
I don't know if it's a passive thing or I have to activate it, but
I think you kind of note that I think all that has to happen is you have to notice that they're doing it. I think that's probably
Yeah.
Okay. So if they're going to be my conduit, then I'm going to roll to let it out so we can access and get across to the spring court.
Okay.
And I am rolling so well,
Oh
everybody.
no!
oh my god.
See, this is like if this was Monster of the Week, I'd just be like, oh, what's some luck? I just want to fix this because we need to go.
Stand by. I need to check on something.
Oh boy.
All right.
I mean, maybe we will end up going after Gia.
It's like we're in.
Yeah.
We're in hell now.
Cool.
well,
Yeah.
Great.
this is
Mallory,
interesting.
your turn to be the tour guide.
Yeah.
Let me
This place sucks.
let me just look at something real quick. Okay. Yes. Oh, these are all. Yeah. All right. We'll wing it. Okay. So, you what does this look like when you go up to the gate to let it out.
I think it's sort of like putting one hand on one of the pillars and just sort of whispering the activation words and kind of letting a little bit of the spring magic out, which is probably looks a little bit like, if you looked closely, there would be kind of like a greenish like glow going on, but nothing that like a passerby you would have to be paying attention to notice it.
So you do this, and it glows, and for a moment you kind of can perceive the portal forming into its strange sort of archway that you cannot see beyond. In your mind's eye. It's not physically there. And as you are all passing through, presumably Manny leading you all inside, Manny, as soon as you step through, you note that there is something amiss. You get these flashes, as though the portal isn't responding the way that it normally does. Something is happening. And just as you're sort of turning and looking for just a brief moment at the arch itself before it changes, as it always does when you step through. It looks as though you see the very tiniest... It's a little odd. It's the tiniest detail. You wouldn't have ordinarily noticed it were it not for this light coming from your mind's eye, as it were. That you can see going down just the tiniest little drop of what looks like blood. Just on the inside of the pillar.
Oh, no.
Perhaps dried blood. And it's like almost an electric jolt as you step through. And for a brief moment, the barest of moments, you see the inside of the Pantheon as it would appear in the Fey realm, because the Pantheon is in all realms. But the sky changes that you can see through the oculus. It's for a moment, it's like that light, that golden light beams down from the Fey realm, and then it shorts out. And then, for a brief moment, it looks as though light changes to something more akin to a filtered amber hue, not far off from the golden light, and then it judders again, and then it turns into something more like moonlight. And then you find yourself, you've stumbled back into a version of the Pantheon, but one that is very dark and decrepit looking, the statues crumbling. A wind raging outside, you can hear. Not like a tornado or anything bad, just, you can hear the winds outside howling against the upper part of the dome.
This is not spring as I remember it.
Manny,
I mean,
where the hell are we?
somewhere else,
This doesn't.
but
Yeah, but this isn't...
where are we?
Do I know where we are? Is this an investigate a place of power thing?
Yeah.
Where the hell
You
are
hear the
we?
sound of what sounds like a slowly moving river, perhaps?
Oh, great.
And
What?
You can if you wish. I think this is... Yeah, I guess you could investigate it. It's funny because the Pantheon has already been investigated as a place of power, but you haven't investigated it from this side, so...
Yeah, I don't know what this side
I
is.
can
Yeah,
give that
can
to
I-
you.
Yeah, I think
You could go ahead and do an investigate place
All
of
right.
power. This
I wanna
also,
roll
again, would
good
be
for
rolling
one.
with power.
Okay.
Because it's... No matter what realm it's in, I think it's considered a structure of power.
Yeah.
Because of how it was constructed.
I can't
Excellent.
roll for shit today, so
But you
I
do get to
I
mark
am
power.
I do get to mark power, which is good, which means I only need mortality. But I am having
nice.
I think Manny is having a moment of like something's not right, and I have taken us to not where I said I was taking us, and I do not feel very good with how this is not how my
Yes.
magic is supposed to work. Something is
Yeah.
wrong, something is bad.
You hear, now this is the interesting thing. As you're sort of looking around, you can see that there's this... Perhaps you're pulled almost by your curiosity, one might say, as you're investigating toward sort of the entrance to see where the hell you are. And you look out on a very desolate plain, broken by a big, slow-moving, blackened river. The sky is very dark and almost looks cavernous, really, in a way. Dark and clouded. You hear hoofbeats, and you see someone on a spectral horse in the distance seems to be approaching. You can see right through them. And out, just across this river, you realize where you are when you see a lone figure in a big boat, clad in a robe, looking somewhat skeletal, and moving the boat with the pole across.
Oh no!
I welcome you to the underworld.
Oh no!
And
Yup.
with that, we shall go to break.
Hell yeah.
Literally.
Where's that
hell yeah.
fucking cat at?
Oh, Maron!
Well,
We'll be
you
back
might.
in just a few minutes. See you shortly. have returned. And as we look over the beautiful river Styx, which looks out out over the land of the dead. There is someone approaching. They're not quite here yet. What are you folks doing?
Panicking.
Yeah, Serena looks at Manny and is just like, I know it's been a while since I've been to your part of the whatever, but this isn't it, Manny.
This isn't it. Yeah, this isn't.
Not.
Unless something went really, really wrong in the spring court while I was away, this is not home.
Super not it.
Super, super not okay.
What happened?
I don't know. It was like when I tried to open the portal, it's like there was something on the archway. Like it was bleeding. Arches don't bleed. Arches don't bleed. So,
Magic arches.
Yeah, even magic arches don't bleed. Something. And I mean, normally I don't go without a coin tether, and I'm normally not taking other people with me either. But this is very new, and that's a very creepy person approaching us. And act natural, I guess.
You can't do
It's
horse
all
claps
up,
very well.
it's all up to
Anyway.
how this how that reacts.
So, brings the horse up. Kind of, he's getting into audio range with him. It's a fairly tall gentleman. He is sort of pale, translucent skin, and he he's wearing a kind of a thing that looks sort of like not unlike maybe like a Renaissance era sort of kind of tunic and cloak over it. He's actually wearing sort of a cape with a pin that's fastened that seems to be like could be like a dragon or a snake emblazoned on it. It's hard to see. His horse kind of, and he's balding, basically. You notice also.
Can I put a face to a name?
Sure.
I would like to attempt as well, even though for me, rolling is not great.
If anyone who wants to put a face to this name will be doing so with Night.
It's alright. I just want to roll well for once. Maybe. Nope, can't roll higher than a 6, apparently.
Hey, same hat.
I got a 7 with a -1 modifier.
Oh,
Okay,
man.
good. I'm not the only one who has an idea.
All right.
Oh, man.
We have 2
Vaguely.
6s and 2 7s.
Mm-mm.
So this actually is someone who is could be fairly well known among the dead community. Let's talk about who this is, and then we can decide if you owe him anything or if you just don't know him. Those of you who made 6s, those of you who made 7s on this will know what most people in the supernatural community generally know about him. This is Lord Cagliostro. He used to inhabit one of the castles across the river. I think the big castle across the river for a while. It is rumored he dabbled in the arcane. in life. He is actually... He comes and goes between here and Rome. His official title is Marshal of the Gate.
Is this a dead pope? Is what you said, basically?
He's not a... No, he wasn't a pope per se, if I have the right one here. He was,
Cardinal.
He was an occultist, basically.
Okay.
And sort of history kind of remembers him as an adventurer and self-styled magician, as it were.
I think Serena just doesn't know who this is.
Yeah.
She's just completely lost.
Yeah, I think Manny might. If she's had to go through the gate before, it's possible that they've had some run-ins.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Manny's more likely to have met this person than Serena. So Manny might possibly owe him a debt. Has something like this happened before?
I don't think I was the one that did it, but I think it's entirely possible that another Fae and I tried to go through without a coin, and this happened. But I don't think it wasn't Jerry, because Jerry is such a little rule boy that I don't think it was him. I think it was probably somebody else that doesn't come over as often. And so getting back, they're like, who needs the coins? It's like, I don't know. It just seems like it's usually smarter to take the... all right, well, now you've upset the marshal of the gate, so...
Yeah.
Here we are.
I mean, mostly he deals more with, crossing into the underworld specifically, but yeah, he'll notice when things like this happen. Sometimes. If you don't pay a coin, it's usually fine if you get, but sometimes...
it's just good. It's just good practice to use a coin.
Yeah,
that's why the system was invented.
Polite.
So Jerry has told me multiple times, and I just don't necessarily want to listen to him for anything ever.
For some reason.
Something about his face, I think.
Count Alessandro di Cagliostro, and he is also, by the way, in life. Not necessarily a great guy, but anyway.
Welcome to Rome.
Yeah, welcome to Rome. He sort of the horse rears up, and he looks and he sort of leans down. Let's see, and the other two of you just know who this is basically, and that his reputation is mostly that he's just interested in knowing things. That's kind of, he hoards information.
Good.
And so he just sort of leans forward on the neck of the skeletal horse, and he looks down and he says, "You are a bit far from home, yes?"
We are good counts. If you don't mind, we wouldn't mind just being on our way back to where we're supposed to be.
And don't tell me you're here by accident.
More or less a mishap with some magic. I'm trying to trick him. I want him to leave us the hell alone and get us out of here.
You haven't lied to him yet, actually. But yeah, you're trying to mislead or distract or trick him as though, this doesn't mean anything. Okay, so this is mislead or distract or trick. So.
Yes, which I can do with heart instead of mind, which is good for me.
You say that now.
I say that now, considering how well I've been rolling.
Excellent.
So let's just say that I can't ever roll above a 6.
Wait, I want to help.
Oh, you can help. Yeah, that's true.
I'm going to lend a hand, and I think that Serena steps forward and is just like, "You understand how magic can be sometimes. It has a mind of its own, and some of us aren't exactly magical users here. This isn't the best place for us to be."
I just have a quick rules question. I'm confused about this. So, I had a beginning of session move that I rolled like 2 sessions ago because
That
it's
is
the same
true.
day. Where I have 2 hold, which I can spend to declare that something terrible is about to happen, and then we all get +1 forward to avoid it.
Yeah. You still haven't used
from
it, and it's still the
right,
same.
From a mechanical perspective, I just want to like understand, would that, like, I could declare that everything terrible is about to happen, and so they would get +1 to be able on this roll to convince the guy? Is that how that would work?
If the thing you if for example you declare that there is something terrible that is going to happen here with this situation, for example, then they get a +1 forward in this situation.
It's actually +1 ongoing.
All right, that's right, +1 ongoing.
But okay. And then so like +1 ongoing to avoid the disaster in terms of convincing him to get us out of here because something terrible is going to happen.
Yeah. So,
so it's something terrible is going to happen, like if we stay here,
Yeah.
basically. Okay, I'll take that 7. I'll take.
Yeah,
anything.
I'll do that. I'll go into like full Oracle mode and declare that something like terrible will happen if we stay here. Like the river will crest and flood and everything, so we need to get out of here as soon as possible. And congratulations, you all have +1 ongoing until we get the hell out of here.
Okay, then I'm not gonna roll to lend a hand then, because that'll give Manny a 7.
So wait. So what are you telling in earshot of Cagliostro?
I am telling him that we need to leave immediately, because if we stay here, the visions are very unclear as to how, but if we stay here, the river Styx is going to flood over its banks, and so we must leave.
And he's just he's looking, and when you make this pronouncement, it rings out in a way that you're not used to your pronouncements ringing out. You can actually kind of hear it echoing. Even to the point that you're looking across, and the hooded figure looks up. At all of you. And Cagliostro's just like, I have seen this before. He bows his head. Nods. Mislead, distract, or trick on a 7 to 9. You pick 2. Manny.
Oh yes. I need to go back and look and see what I'm.
Sorry.
No. I just was so fascinated by this scene. I think for us, for sure, like we gotta avoid the further entanglement with this guy for now, and create an opportunity for escape.
Okay. All right. So he sort of bows his head, and he just sort of looks askance over at the figure on the figure in the boat. The figure in the boat is kind of stopped and is pointing. It's a bony hand. Just briefly at Kai. Cagliostro nods. And he says to Kai, "Forgive me, I did not realize you were awake. You may... of course. You may simply... misunderstandings like this can happen. If... I do recommend then, as this is such a difficult time of transition, you should try to get back as soon as you can, as best you can. There will be much to discuss. Perhaps Perhaps I shall see you when we meet on the morrow. And he nods and he turns, and he's turning his horse to back away.
I elbow Manny. Get out of here.
He seems to be paying Kai a ridiculous amount of respect there. I think the only one, if you've met this person before, he is usually very disrespectful to most people that he meets. But for some reason, he's showing respect to Kai.
And he said when we meet tomorrow,
Yes.
we might talk. Right? Okay.
He's making some kind of assumption. We're not sure what.
Son?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want the river to flood.
Can you get us back, Manny, without taking us somewhere else?
Yeah.
I mean, I can try to get us where we were originally going.
Let's
Okay,
aim
Well,
for
anywhere's
that.
better than this, I would hope.
Yeah, going where we're originally going was probably a good idea.
Yep. All right. Well, here comes one more try.
But I think you still have the +1 ongoing because it's to avoid the disaster.
The disaster
of us.
that's definitely
That
going to happen
is
if you
true.
don't.
And it's
and
advanced
you-
because of the conduit. Yeah.
Yeah, you see that as you're retreating back into the Pantheon, you see the figure on the raft is just watching you, is standing stock still and watching you all.
Oh, all right. Well, okay. So if I roll, let it out, I can still mark it as advanced and
Mhm.
Yes,
get
absolutely.
that +1 too.
Yep.
Okay. Come on.
Ah,
I finally did it. Oh,
is that with
thank
the +1 or
you.
no? Did
No,
you
that
put
is
in
not
a-
with the +1.
Okay, so you actually got a
I didn't
10.
put the +1 in. Okay. I don't know how the streak got broken, but I think Kai's vision just saved us all.
So that means you don't have to take corruption, unless you want to take 2 things from the list. You can take 1 thing from the list. If you want to take a second thing from the list, you may if you want to mark corruption, but that's up to you. The list to let it out: take +1 forward on your next roll, extend your senses, supernatural or otherwise, frighten, intimidate, or impress your opposition, take definite hold of something vulnerable or exposed. And yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking, because of how crappy I'm rolling, I'm definitely going to take the +1 forward. But I'm wondering if because the archway had been messed up, I might just take the corruption and extend my senses to like give us a leg up on what we're doing. That might be the safer bet to go with right now, just in case.
All right.
When we get to the spring court, there's other dangers.
Okay.
Usually fairy-related ones, so I want to take my corruption. That's my breakfast. I'm getting very close to getting a corruption.
Delicious flakes of corruption.
Part of a balanced breakfast.
You reach out and you touch the pillar, and once again, it comes to life with on this side of the pillar, it's much more of a pale blue light. Which turns green, which you need it to, as you step through. And you're kind of thinking and you're sensing and you realize, okay, this pillar, not from this side, actually from this side you're okay. But you realize that something has been done. I mean, you kind of realize this anyway, but something has been done to the pillar in the Pantheon on Earth. You sense as you're stepping through that if you wanted to use it to get back to Earth from here, you could do it really easily. But you are focusing on the Fey Realm, are you not?
I am.
All
Yes,
right.
we do need to stop there.
You step through, and once you have stepped through, and the pillar is, there is another flash, this one somewhat of a more golden ilk. You step through, and golden light is falling down through the oculus. Once more, as you step back into the Pantheon, and you see there's a bit of a sort of a drift. You can see sort of like the little dust in the light, motes of dust, glittering, darting about. There are little figures flitting back and forth, actually, near the entrance. And you look out, and it is, shall we say, a bit more lush outside. Almost, almost like the direct opposite of where you just were.
It's always so much on this side. They just so extra, so over the top.
Yes, I don't see that trait at all in you, Manny.
What? Me? No, never.
I just bursts out laughing.
Serena just rolls her eyes.
I can't believe that word. And then
So this is the right place, right?
Yep. Welcome, everyone, to the Spring Court.
Are you in trouble, Manny? You were a little reluctant about coming back here.
I just never want to come back. I need to go see the Duchess. So it's probably going to be a bit of a tense situation because I haven't been home in like 40, 50 years now, even though I'm supposed to come back more often.
I mean, you've been busy.
And if that's the trip you normally take, I can understand why you don't take it that often. It's a hell of a detour, literally.
Yeah, it is. No, it's fine. I just, just be prepared for a lot of, sniping and passive-aggressive commentary and...
Also, I'll be the one to say this. Nobody make any deals while we're here.
Yeah.
Or promises.
Especially no promises. They are going to try their best to trick you into whatever they can, especially if it's in the service of helping somebody.
Fine. Just want to talk.
I didn't say you couldn't talk. I just said don't make any promises.
Yes, Mallory, you probably shouldn't talk, actually.
I feel like roll her eye.
Well, all right. Everybody, straighten your lapels. Any dust, brush it off. Mallory, I just you got a little bit of a cowlet going on. Just trust me that they're very particular here. Manny's already just like standing up too straight. I would like to go find the Duchess.
So, outside the immediate area, you will note that you have a place that in some ways resembles the plaza for the Pantheon, but very much does not in other ways. It's much more cobblestone affair out here. There is a fountain, but it is it's much more... It's ornate in a somewhat different way, shall we say. It's and the water is much cleaner, sparkling, and there are sprites in it. So this is the funny part, because in a way you're basically going to be out here hitting the streets. Yay, though you are hitting slightly different streets.
Yep.
Of this fairy metropolis that you are in at this point. So what? Let's see. You're gonna be hitting the streets with Wild, because if you're looking specifically for the Duchess.
I am. I'm gonna try to make our trip here as short as possible. Even though I'm sure there's like plenty of Fae walking around that see like new people and they want to like, put flower crowns on everybody, and everyone's just so polite and helpful. And do you need any help? Do you have any bags? Do you have, like, they're all just really, and Manny's just so over it. Just like, out of my way. Been with the humans for so long.
There are all manner of folk here. Some of them short, some of them tall. Big sort of hulking kind of folks that are almost troll-like, but they're there are a few of them here hanging out, and let me actually see. You got a 9.
Yeah.
There is one of the very few satyrs that actually is still around is actually here at the fountain, just kind of hanging out.
Oh, that's nice.
And you got a 9 in your street hittery.
Yep. So she either's gonna have a big cost for me, or she's got her own problems.
Yep. So which one of those two do you want?
Oh, I think for the drama, it's probably gonna cost me a lot more.
Okay. Excellent. Keeping that in mind. The Duchess does not stay like in the palace all the time. She does move about here quite a bit, but she does have a routine that she follows. So, gauging what it is based on the time of day here in the fairy realm, time is a little weird, but because this is kind of very directly attached to a specific place, it's the time differential isn't too bad. You might, it depends on how long you spend here, but it's a fractional thing rather than a huge multiplier. So you're going to locate, as you sort of go through this town, which in some ways is familiar, some ways is not. There are things that look very much like you can tell that this is also Rome, but not. Because there are a lot of things here that would not normally appear in Rome.
For one thing, no traffic.
Yes, that's right. No cars.
No cars.
There's a little traffic. There are people on horseback. There are, but it's mostly foot traffic.
Horses.
Yeah.
Manny does not like the horses. They're too. See, the human world, horses they're a little bit terrifying, and they don't want attention. Horses here are like, oh, I'm dumb and adorable, pet me. They're like dogs, and it's just like, get out of my face.
There are sort of in the Fey realm up sort of closer to Florence, there are some folks with these who have built these kind of strange fairy steam wagon things, but we won't get into that.
Of course, we don't have that here.
No, we wouldn't have that here.
No, we have the friendly horses. Their big teeth and their ridiculous, just feed me, I'm adorable smiles. I realize I'm making these horses sound great. Manny would not like them, but I
really am trying to figure out the downside here, but it seems like
it's just so much.
I know.
If you're not a horse person,
Yeah, if you're not a horse person, this is probably terrifying to have a horse that is trying to act like a dog while also ferrying people about. But in my head, I'm like, I love the idea of the Fey realm. I just like kind of playing somebody that's very over it.
Yeah. In fact, yeah. So you're going to actually find. So you're going to kind of get the idea that this is about the time of day that that the Duchess is. If this is roughly the right time of week, time of day, she is actually probably doing a bit of training. So there is a place that in Rome is kind of a gymnasium. Here, it is a slightly different sort of exercise yard type place. We see that she is currently, she looks very sort of She has the sort of she has the tall elfin thing going on, as does her trainer. And they are fencing right now. So she right now is not dressed in her regalia so much, but she is recognizable. She is wearing still a fairly modest sort of fencing outfit that has kind of her house symbol on it. As her blonde hair cascades down behind her, and you can see her sort of going back and forth with her trainer, and she appears to be winning. As you sort of enter, you hear to the sound of blades going back and forth, fencing foils.
I think we'll let them. I think I'll just gesture to the other room, like, just let him finish. That's what the quorum says. And when it's over, there's the proper like little golf clap applause.
Like, finally, she gets him in the shoulder, and he's sort of bows, and you can tell that he did not let her win. This is someone she's very capable with this blade. But the only reason I mention that, by the way, is because there is this air around her in this that she likes things to be in their place, and everybody knows that. So she did have a trainer prior to this who tried to do the letting her win thing because he thought that it was appropriate. It was not. He at this point is still sort of guarding a very particular door in the castle. And will one day perhaps no longer, when he's turned back into a fae, then he'll probably his sentence will be finished.
I certainly don't want to make her angry, that's for sure.
So she will, she will mop her brow with this little towel that she basically has, and she's heading forward, gliding forward. And Emanuela. She will glide forward, and as she approaches you all, and she will step forward to sort of embrace and lightly do the not quite touching you kiss cheek thing, but very slowly and elegantly.
Yep, I'll do all the same. I'll do all my important curtsies and everything, and just,
I was very concerned. I'm glad to see you back.
Well, I do come with some news and a request on behalf of Jerry. Okay. Oh. I'm afraid my visit must be rather short. I have quite a bit of business in the mortal realm.
It must be very concerning if Sir Gerald chose to simply send you here. Very immediate.
Yes.
That's unusual. Did it require you to bring your 3 servants with you?
The look on Serena's face.
Manny knows. And Manny's like, I probably should have said that you would all be considered servants because you're mortals in my realm.
Actually, Mallory, she actually kind of catches Mallory's eye for just a second. Mallory, you've met her. Mm-hmm. You know she's kidding.
Mm-hmm. It's not uncommon for this to be a thing, that the Fae will tease mortals that come in such a way. And she said, we were attending to some other business when I was given Sir Gerald's message to deliver to you directly. So I had to bring my servants, knowing Serena's gonna pop again. I had to bring my servants with me.
Just a vein popping on the side of her head.
Breathe through it.
Of course. And she gestures to you all, and there are some chairs there. and such. She heads over. Feel free to have some water if you like. And anyone who knows anything about fairy lore at this point is probably going to immediately hear "Don't drink the water" in their memory. But
You know,
Yeah.
I would hope that you all would take that warning of don't do anything you're not supposed to do, don't drink or touch anything, don't make any promises.
Yeah, this is, I think, the posture that Mallory takes in this, whenever she is forced to go into here, is just basically like a child in a store and their parent is like, you better not touch anything, just very still.
And as she's sort of looking at all of you, she's sort of looking back and forth at she will nod and smile and kind of wink at Mallory, just because it's like nod. And she says, "Well, I have met you, Miss Mallory. I have not met these two friends of yours. Who might they be?"
Do I know enough about the Fae not to give them my name?
I mean, do you?
Possibly. Have you been around a lot?
Yeah, I mean, Kai's been around Supernatural for a long time.
It's probably not a great idea to necessarily...
Yeah.
It varies, right? It just depends on, humans just give their names away, typically, so it's hard to say. If she doesn't have it'll be harder if she doesn't have your full name, but at the same time... Then there's that whole awkward, what do I call you?
Which is exactly the sort of argument the Fae use to get your name in the first place. Like,
Yeah,
what do I call you? How do I know? But I think Manny will just gesture and see, alright, don't worry about them. They're good mortals.
Well, I should hope so. It's, if you've brought... And she sort of glances, looking back. She's sort of staring at Serena.
Serena's staring back
For a second. I've seen you somewhere before.
Most people have.
Not you. Someone perhaps in your family. Yes, that would explain it. That would explain it. I think, yes. You're of that line, aren't you? Ah. An honor to have you. And she looks over at Kai for a second and is like, a pleasure.
Okay, that is the third time today.
And he just feels her heart sink, like, Kai, don't.
It's a pleasure to meet you as well.
Just like,
Interesting. And she looks over at Manny. Well, you did say that unfortunately we can't have you here for very long. It's sad. We were hoping that there might be more time, but I do understand.
yes, I have quite a few, I suppose buns in the oven would be the way to put it, to take care of back on the mortal realm. There are
Yes.
lots of movements. But Jerry did tell me that he is going to be taking over watch duty of Nunzio, and that it is important that Miss Olympia Fortunato was the one, she's the one that asked for this watch in the first place, asked for him specifically, and that it is important that you are made aware that she is asking such a request.
Did she say why?
No, she did not tell
Of
me.
course not.
I'm afraid I don't entirely understand the gravity of what Miss Fortunato is asking, but I would like to know. She is one of the buns in the oven. Obviously, as permitted, I would like to be able to be privy to this information, of course.
The court is bound to protect her secret in agreement with, based upon an ancient agreement, but that is the thing. If you know, that is going to be a decision for you to make, for you will then be unable to speak of it.
That is something I can agree to.
It is a burden we do not carry lightly, but I will tell you a piece of it. That way, perhaps you will not be overburdened just yet. I would prefer you not to know just yet the entirety of Miss Fortunato's situation.
Very well.
However, it is possible she is making a move, but she has never made a move that does not preserve her interests, and her interests are for things currently to remain the same. And I can appreciate that. There is, therefore, a movement of something ancient. That is implicit to Sir Gerald's request. If Fortunato wants Nunzio looked after, then there is the potential for a bit of unrest, an imbalance. Are you quite sure you don't wish to stay? Things could get rather chaotic out there very soon.
I'm afraid that's not possible at this point.
Also, sadly, this was rather expertly maneuvered, as I shall have to directly investigate. I shall be in town tomorrow.
I shall be on the lookout for you then.
Let us merely state, I can tell you this. Let us merely say that it would appear that the Olympians are at it again.
Very well.
Which ones precisely remain to be seen, but
there are certainly rumblings, Your Grace. There have been rumblings of some Olympians, and I think Maddie's going to do something she's not expecting, which is the gate to get from the mortal realm to here was corrupted? Damaged? I'm not entirely sure, but it was It did not bring me directly here.
Oh, there is something going on. Definitely, there is some...
But it's just the mortal side. It's not here, it's not... It wasn't the underworld side either. Which, frankly, I would prefer to never return to if I can help it.
Oh, goodness, no. It's rather... It's rather... Shall we say, rather uniform color down there, and extremely difficult on us. We may need to close our side for a while soon.
Oh?
Well, if unrest is happening on that level and they're tampering with the gate, then there is some movement toward something particularly. If they're heading for the... It's rerouted toward the underworld. Yes?
Yes.
Ah.
At least it did for me. I don't know if anyone else has had any travel experiences of the same.
With all due respect, Duchess, Miss Fortunato, whatever she has planned with you and her and the Olympians, how much is this going to affect mortals if it's going to be done in our world?
Oh, well, I think probably there could be a certain degree of unrest. Well, I hate to always pull out the same chestnut for every mortal that I speak to of this, but I suppose it hasn't happened lately. You have heard of Vesuvius?
Oh.
Yes, I can say I have.
Yes. No, it's perhaps not going to be quite that. Depends really what they're up to. I have to find out. It would seem...
And you're what? Just going to close off the gates to the Fey world and let mortals figure out something that seems like your problem?
The Olympians are not our problem.
Manny is just sweating.
The Olympians...
What are you doing?
She leans forward. Actually, when you say she leans forward. The Olympians are very specifically your problem. They chose you. She sort of...
Can I figure her out?
And she okay, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not going to get it because I have a -2 in mind, but I want to try.
Sure.
Oh, I'm enjoying this.
Yeah, that was a 3. That was a 3. I knew.
All right. Figuring something out on a Fey Duchess. That's.
Listen,
that's
Serena's just like.
What's
doesn't
this lady's
care.
deal?
What? You called me a servant, woman.
Okay. All right. She she's going to lean forward. And I think in the process of figuring out, perhaps you're going to ask her something. What do you think you're going to ask her?
I think as she gets closer, Serena's mind goes back to what she said about me, like, being chosen. And she's, do you mean I'm chosen specifically or mortals as a whole? Because I have nothing to do with Olympians.
Don't you? My dear child. And she will reach her hand forward. And if you permit it, she will take your hand for a moment.
Yeah, I think Serena's like standing her ground, so she's not making any moves to like shy away or anything.
So she's looking directly into your eyes when she does this, and there's this, it's not exactly a jolt when she takes her hand, but it's perhaps an echo of one. You kind of have this sense of you feel kind of rather like, well, you know when someone is reading, you get this feeling, this distinct sort of feeling that you get as though someone is reading your emails or is looking at your private pages.
Yeah.
Is there sort of, it's like it's for a moment you get this distinct feeling that she's scrolling through you.
I think Serena suddenly is brave as fuck, just says, "None of that's for you, Duchess."
And when you do this, she will say, "Do you know how you're able to tell that none of that's for me? Do you?" She says, "Because Venus chose your line to help govern the mortals when they cried out for assistance. So it is very much a problem, perhaps one you've inherited, but it is most definitely yours."
She snatches her hand away, just still staring daggers at the Duchess, but her hands balled in fists to her side, and she doesn't look at Manny, she doesn't bring her eyes away from the Duchess. She says, "Auntie Manny, we should probably be going very soon."
Your Grace, if there's nothing else, we should get these mortals back to the mortal realm.
She just sort of will raise her eyebrows. Yes. She will cock her head. She will say, the last thing she will say to Serena, "You have the most difficult road ahead of you. And I do not envy that." She will nod. She will say, and she will actually turn to Mallory and say, "I am sorry we're not getting a chance to catch up at all, but perhaps tomorrow. I will be in town tomorrow. Do say hello to Sharp for me. That is what he's calling himself these days, isn't it?"
Still, yes.
Still, yes, good.
Of course.
He's incorrigible. And she just sort of, looks over at Kai as though she's just sort of figuring out. Nods.
Kai just nods back. Has had a moment to collect themselves from Heron pointing at them. Because that's creepy. And just has got a little bit of composure back, and so just nods silently back, acting like they absolutely have every idea in the world of what's going on. This is totally normal. They know what's happening. Inside is they are the this is fine dog. That this is fine dog. Completely.
So she turns to Manny and she says, "Well, we shall see. I bid you farewell for now. I shall no doubt see you again soon.
Yes, tomorrow.
Then perhaps we can discuss the possibility of your return to this place, depending on what what it turns out is uncovered.
Very well. And, I think Manny will
She will do
stand
that sort of
up.
light embrace as you're standing
Yep.
up, and then she will
Yep.
drift back.
I'll turn to the other three and be like, let's go. Just very, very like trying to keep it together, but just like, oh no. I don't want to come back.
And you turn and you head back. You head back through the winding streets and back to the Pantheon. And is there anything else you wanted to do here in Fairyland before you depart?
I think once we get out of earshot, Mallory's just gonna look at me. What the hell's tomorrow?
A lot. A lot is tomorrow. I don't know what.
Well, Rome is going to have the Duchess of the Fae in town.
Mm-hmm.
That
seemed obvious. What?
And possibly the Marshal of the Gate. He seemed interested in talking.
Yeah.
Mafia wizard.
That's right. You have a mafia wizard.
I have a mafia wizard I'm supposed to meet with tomorrow night.
Oh
This has been a
no.
really eventful 12 hours. I have something. Yeah.
I'm
Is
pretty
this-
sure Olivia Fortunato wanted to talk to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's
Is
supposed
this-
to be in touch and make sure that Nunzio is actually being watched.
Is this why he wants
Which means
the
I gotta.
suits?
I bet, and I bet that's a thing we're gonna have to. We're gonna have to find those. We're gonna have to find those suits first.
Well, I have a tarot reading booked with a creepy person I've never met before I'm willing to blow off. You need help finding those?
It might be a good.
I might need it.
Yeah.
I didn't know it would be soon. All right, we're gonna have to get on it.
Me and Serena offered her flock.
I told you it would just be one easy post. I'll probably find it in a couple of hours. I'll do it for you for free, Mallory. You won't owe me anything. Not
I
yet,
don't like that
anyway.
voice. I don't like that tone. I do not like it.
I'm offering you this as a friend.
I like that. Less. But it's either... You know what? It's fine. You know what? Fine. It's worth it because I don't know what he's gonna do to me if I don't get his goddamn suits before tomorrow. So fine. Take whatever you want.
I'll just say that if anything goes wrong with it, it'll probably be me who's punished, not you. I'm the one that's responsible for my trustworthy followers.
You probably shouldn't have made that claim in the Fae realm and should have waited till we got back to the mortal side.
Oh, I thought it was gonna be me who was gonna make some sort of... Congratulations.
Well, at this point, apparently I am from the line of Venus.
That's pretty cool.
I'm gonna have to, see if there's anything unawakened there.
Oh my god.
The ferryman of sticks pointed at me.
We're still in the
I-
Fae realm, right?
We
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, making sure.
And I have never seen the Calistrado do anything like what he did to you, Kai. So you've made some kind of mark on that.
I literally just seen a drawing. I didn't even know who that was, and Okay.
He's a piece of work.
Mm-hmm.
I need coffee.
Let's get back to the mortal realm. I can.
Coffee and pastries will not make tomorrow not happen, but it will make this better.
And I need to help out Mallory.
Yep.
Yeah,
yes, you do.
I'm gonna need a lot of
Signal down
coffee.
here to post.
You probably can't get service here. That's not really
Yeah.
what we do on this side.
Yeah, I figure she isn't even checking her phone. She just assumes there'll be no way for her to make a post in the Fae realm.
Yeah.
Um,
So I'll get us back
They're at
across.
70.
Yeah, the Fey network is a little bit different from Italian Telecom.
Different SIM card.
Yeah, yeah. They have one, but it's well. Anyway.
Yep.
So you cross back through the cobblestone streets, back past the fountain, in this little sliver of the realm of Eternal Spring. Head into the Pantheon. Head through the gate. It's no trouble at all, really, getting back from here. Manny, you just sort of you dial the coordinates and you head you touch the pillar, you head back through. And as you are all stepping back out of the gate, Italian Telecom rallies and all four of you get texts. So
Serena immediately pulls her phone out to check it.
So Kai, the text that you get is from your buddy Chad. Is from Virgil, basically, and saying we're set. The overlook room. Good to go in an hour if you. Good to go in an hour if you're still good. If you're still good.
What's the timestamp on it? Is it within the hour? I want to make sure I didn't miss.
Actually, it was actually just a few minutes ago.
Okay. You know what? This day can't possibly get any weirder. I'm just gonna send him the thumbs up emoji.
Okay. Mallory, you get a text from Victor Benedetti, and it's basically got an attached file with the details of the job that they are they're hiring you for. And apparently, you are to pick up an item, a package containing relics from Mia Vargas in Trastevere, and to deliver it to Galerius Conti, the leader of Via Lupus, in the on the Palatine Hill in the Coliseo district.
Well, checks out.
Yeah, Mia, you've kind of, I think, perhaps met. Maybe, I don't know. You could always, I think you could do face name here, but Kai knows Mia. Kai is Mia's former roommate.
Good people.
And Manny and Serena get the same text. And the text says that you are cordially invited to the Versace Spring Preview event, private event, tomorrow night at the Palazzo Doria Pamphilj. And that, I think, is where we are going to end our session today.
I think you just hear Serena go, "Oh, what am I going to wear?" That's all she says.
It does specify in the invitations you may bring guests if you so desire.
You think I can make up to lying for Tom repeatedly by taking him to the Versace private event?
Nice.
Hey, baby, I've been lying to you about who and what I am, and also the supernatural. Do you want to go to this really cool private?
It's cool. It's a cool party. This will make up for it.
Totally, absolutely. Excellent. All right. Well, we have once again gotten through another little sliver of time, and we'll see what we'll see how things progress. I think things are starting to connect up here. I'm enjoying this quite a bit. Let's go ahead and go around and do our outros. We'll go ahead and feel free to tell folks where they can find you. Feel free to plug anything you like. And any favorite bits or just things, any final thoughts you might have had about this session. And we shall start with Sara.
Hi, everybody. I am Sara. I just finished playing Kai. You can find me on Twitter at Sara of Swords, and Instagram and other social media that I routinely forget that I have, not unlike Kai. I am currently putting a table together for an unstreamed Trophy Dark game, nautical horror. So if you want to explore how terrifying the ocean is, there is a pinned post in my Twitter profile with some more info. So look to see you there for that. And I love how everything is coming together. I love when I give GMs backstory and then they just do things, capital D and T with that. That's fantastic. And especially how everything kind of comes together. So kind of seeing how everything is overlapping. And I cannot wait to find out what the hell happens tomorrow. That's just so many very powerful people with titles and capital letters and importance all showing up at the same time to talk to all of us, which is gonna be fine. I can't see how that ends badly. And yeah, so I'm really enjoying this game. Thank you, Jim, so much for running it and doing wonderful things with what we all given you. And I love that we're all together now and get to have the four of us playing off of each other. So
one of my favorite things in the world is to bounce things off of player prompts. It is a delightful thing. So I appreciate the opportunity. And let us now move on to Alyssa.
Yes, hi! Wow, I love this game so much. It's just so much fun. But for all the boring stuff, hi, I'm Alyssa, or Sanders Hamilton. I'm around on Twitter sometimes. Sometimes I'm in your streams, just hanging out, not really saying anything. I'm usually pretty lurky. As for other places you can find me besides being here, Sunday nights over on Praxagora Thesmiophoria's channel, you can find me for Romance of the Blue Rose, in which everything is dramatic and we all might die from vampires. It's super great. We just had the biggest truth bomb happen in the last 2 episodes. It's fun. Also, apparently I broke Simon on Sunday.
Always good to break Simon.
I didn't mean to. Apparently, I therapized him in a way that he's like, my character just shuts the fuck down because I don't know how to answer this. It's like, oh, did I break? He's like, no, that was actually it was just a 1-2 punch. It's like, oh, okay. So, I don't know. I kind of blacked out apparently emotionally, but it's a lot of fun. Otherwise, this game rules so much. I love it so much. I gotta say, one of my, there are so many good moments, but Mallory fully deciding that I'm just gonna fuck with Serena and say that she's cursed was one of the best pulls. It was just molto bene. Loved it.
Excellent. That was a great moment. Well, we're going to now, speaking of Mallory, let's go ahead and head over to Lynn.
Hey, I'm Lynn, playing Circe on Twitter and Twitch, where I have my art and the streams I do. And next time you'll see me is tomorrow for a spy game where we are trying to break into a computer server, and we're gonna have deep undercover and probably some stealth, so that should be fun. And then right after that, that's on Fall Black Cats, and after that at 9 p.m. is Blades in the Dark, Ashes in the Ember on twitch.tv/Rick, where it's downtime, and that means maximum drama time. And it sounds like there's a good possibility someone's gonna get taken out in the downtime, which occasionally happens. And God, I love thanks. I love having everybody like in the same place, kind of like be able to bounce off each other. And I like, what was it? Poor Manny has to like just keep everything together while everyone's just kind of like bouncing around and keeping the other like away from the supernatural stuff and gaining corruption.
I can't wait for if you're taking him to the party. I can't wait.
God.
It's gonna be so good. Okay. Awesome. And finally, over to Katy.
Yeah, I'm Katy. You can find me all over the internet at KatyFace. I am also the a co-producer and social media manager of Off the Table. That's off_the table on Twitter and Twitch. This week, I will definitely be, this Friday, I run a game of Scum and Villainy on Off the Table, and it is also our downtime session, so that's going to be fun. That's every other Friday. Our new schedule of games on Off the Table has... they have been casted. It hasn't been released yet, so you'll see me in some of those when they come out. And I think that sounds about right. But yeah, if you ever want to see what I'm up to, I'm a professional GM, so sometimes I'm running games, and would love to have you in those when I post them on Twitter. But that's the best place to find what I'm doing.
Yay. Very cool. I can't wait for next week. All right, this is going to be a lot of fun. And as for me, I'm Jim. I am Other Doc on both Twitch and Twitter, and my website is jimyesthatjim.com, where you can find my various things, my Geek Observation podcast, links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various stuffs. On Saturdays, I am over on Saturday evenings. I am over on Weave the Tale, playing Fate of Cthulhu: The Return of Carcosa, and playing an ex-thief and ex-magician, a concept I totally didn't get from a series of movies. I completely made it up myself, trying to stop the King in Yellow. And then on Sundays, when we're all available on Sunday afternoons, we usually on this channel do Dark Matter, but will not be this coming week, but it will be the week after. So that will just bring us back around to Tuesday night when we have more of this. Very much looking forward to it. When we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid. Let's see, I think I'm going to send a raid over to... I haven't raided Christiana Ellis for a while. She's been running a very long campaign with some writer friends of mine. Of the Dungeons and the Dragons. We're going to go over there and say hi. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. That again shall be when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.